Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by first asking do we all speak, anybody who doesn't speak Arabic? Mumtaz. Oh, okay. Okay. I think there is a translation. The majority are Arabic speaking, so if you allow me to speak in Arabic, and I will switch to English whenever there is a need for that. So, السلام عليكم صبحكم الله بالخير جميعا.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning. My name is Saleh Al Shabnan. I hope that in reality I look better than the picture, as you can see. Let me give you a brief overview. I'm a graduate of King Fahd Petroleum and Minerals University in Dhahran in 1982. I had internship and I worked in Aramco, but the majority of my work was in Sabic company. Then after that, I spent 30 years at the company, and then I moved to Ministry of Water, Environment and Industry, and now I'm working in the industry and mineral resources. And now I will discuss the topic in the following 15 minutes. Good news, I will not take all the 15 minutes. I will try to go quickly. I'm ready to receive questions, me and my colleagues, whether here or outside this room. So let me start here.
Can you fix this, please? اسمعوا لي شوي الله يعافيكم.
Please try to be quick so I can move on. Yes, okay. Well, the Saudi company for mining services. As you can see, the company has been recently established. It was established in April 2020, and as you know, 2020 wasn't easy with the advent of the pandemic and all the events that happened in 2020, and initiatives had to be delayed or postponed. But luckily, this company wasn't impacted heavily, and it was on track. It was launched and established. The company was established by a decree from the cabinet. The expectations of the company, before I talk about anything, this company is owned by the government. It works under the umbrella of Ministry of Industry. It is the executive arm for providing the services for the ministry. On the coming years, all the services will be provided by the company, and I will touch upon these services later on. The strategic objectives, improving the quality of provided services. This is the main goal of establishing the company, upscaling and uplifting the services in terms of quality or the pace. And hopefully, we hope that the investors and future investors will see the difference in providing these services. The other reason is building, integrating relationship with other fabrics of society. As you know, mining may have some side effects which may not go in line with the environment, whether villages, towns, forests. So the company will give more consideration to the environment, so that mining complexes be welcomed in those neighboring areas, instead of the bad impacts of the environment happening in the past, not just here but around the world. There are some negative aspects facing some positive aspects on the other hand. In the company, we will be interested that we make sure that our footprints to be light, whether emissions or landscaping or trees or the plant coverage and surrounding people. We want them to welcome the company and welcome the mining complexes and investors, because they will come and good things will come along. Job opportunities, moving economy, as you know, direct job in some industries, and this industry will generate 3 to 5 indirect jobs, whether services, distribution, supply chain, and others. Also, giving more professionalism to mining. The ministry and its affiliated agencies did good services over the past years, but now things have changed and accelerated. So the ministry needs to provide more caliber services in a way that is different from the past. So hopefully we aim that our services provided be up to the expectations and documented and follow procedures, whether from regulatories or service providers, and promoting transparency. The transparency concept is very important and required from both sides, so we avoid unexpected surprises to both sides. Safety and minimizing environment harm. Yes, there are some sometimes we not abide by rules, and we can see that everywhere. Sometimes some investors are excited and they look to the economy and neglect environment or standard procedures. So there should be a sort of a regulation to make sure that we abide by such rules, and at the same time giving the investors more freedom, so they don't lose their activities are required, whether in construction or investment or mining, and that also will have a significant impact. Also, there is, in terms of money, we receive the same money, but sometimes there are some practices from other organizations or individuals who don't have permits and licenses. In other words, there is not rationalizing for the resources of the government. There will be more regulation, so we can make sure that everyone is licensed to be working in this field, and to have regulations financially, environmentally, and socially. As you know, regulations are not easy. The kingdom is like a continent, and it's not easy to conduct regulation and to send regulators across the kingdom. So we will leverage using modern technology, more specifically artificial intelligence and satellites, drones, to monitor these areas, and not only to rely on human resources. The human resources will exist, but in the future we will rely more heavily on technologies which will cost less. Financial sustainability achievement is quite significant. The company is a non-profit organization. I know my colleagues at the financial department and marketing will not be happy with what I'm going to say. The company wasn't established to achieve profits, but to improve the efficacy and quality and the speed of achievement, not to increase the profit. So all the fines will not be for the sake of money, but to go back on track. The company will be a guest for the investors to help them to be more disciplined, not to make profit from their fines and impact their core business.
كما تعلمون
And as you know, mining activities have meet in some common grounds with other companies, because the locations may be in cement companies areas or mines or other substances, and sometimes they might be in remote locations. The same thing goes for silver and gold mines. So these areas transact with other ministries that oversee these locations, and we have to make sure that mining doesn't make negative impacts. There is, for example, Ministry of Environment, Agriculture and Water. It's concerned with protecting the environment. We have Ministry of Defense, National Guard, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Transportation and Logistical Services. All of them are authorities, NEOM, and the Giga projects. We should coordinate with them in order to have alignment and to make sure that mining activities will not have negative impacts but positive ones in these locations. The company will enhance managing relationships with these authorities, so we make the journey for investor easier, and to try to limit the bureaucracy and to have one-stop shop, as we say in English. Well, let me carry on. I think you are fast readers and your comprehension is quick rather than I talk. The company is not an alternative for the ministry. We complete what the ministry is doing, and we are under the umbrella of the ministry. The ministry will remain there, but its role will be limited to passing new laws and regulations and overseeing the company and its performance. So it is the main player, and the board of directors of the company is comprised of His Excellency the Minister as chairman, and the Vice Minister as Vice President, and there are two of the Deputy Ministers, board members. The other members are from other ministries. So the ministry is present clearly here, and we hope that you don't have preservation or any apprehensions that the company will change the approach. No, we are following the same approach, but we'll have more organization, more regulation. So ministry will continue approving and issuing licensing. We will work on issuing licensing until the last decision. And the ministry will be in charge of issuing licensing. Also, penalties and fines. We are not an authority for passing laws, but an executive one. So the company will work on that, and so the final decision will be by those colleagues at the ministry. The platform organization is underway. The company will operate and develop the platform later on, and we will develop laws and regulations. These are government, and these are handled by the ministry. We will take these regulations and work according to them. As you can see, the main activities are for the execution, supervision. We will do everything possible until we take the stamp from the ministry, and that will be done by the ministry. Collecting fines, well, we will do that, and that will be done by the ministry. Organizing under more standards for health and safety. We will make sure to follow that, and we will make supervision, so we make sure that we abide environmentally, socially by the ministers. managing relationship with all the customers and clients is important. Also, the other services. Just one thing on the sideline, the company is an outcome of the mining strategy which has been approved. So establishing the company was one of the outcomes. We are carrying out one of the outcomes. As you can see, we have transformation in each ministry, transformation in providing services, mostly all the ministries, and we are not an exempt, but we hope that, and you will judge that later on, once we start, you will see the difference, and we hope that we don't bother you financially or in terms of security. All the authorities that may work illegally, that means they are unlicensed. The target is not to penalize them with fines and make them out of the market, but we want to make them back on track and rectify their track to provide them with licenses. If there is, if they are not abiding by the financial matters, they should pay this, but we will welcome them once again to continue in mining, but they should be working more systematically. And as the Egyptians say, you should work diligently. Our target is not to make anyone leave the market, but to be more committed to regulations. This is what I have. I promised you that I will take some of the time. Thank you so much for your patience and listening. And my colleagues and I are available for questions after this session. Thank you so much.